A country under maximum sanctions. No advanced microchips, no Western parts, no allies willing to openly help. And yet, that same country built a weapon so cheap, so simple, so terrifyingly effective, that it brought the most powerful militaries on Earth to their knees. Not a missile, not a fighter jet, a drone. A drone that flew over Ukraine and changed the rules of modern warfare forever. This is the story of how Iran, a nation the world counted out, quietly built one of the most consequential drone programs in military history, and how one little flying machine rewrote the future of war. To understand Iran's drone army, you need to go back, way back, to 1980. Saddam Hussein's Iraq invades Iran. The war that follows lasts 8 brutal years. Iran is isolated, sanctioned, cut off from spare parts for its American-built Air Force, the one it inherited from the Shah. Its F-4 Phantoms are falling apart. Its pilots are running out of aircraft. Its commanders are running out of options. Early in the war, aerial reconnaissance was carried out by our F-4 Phantom aircraft inherited from the Shah's Air Force. But by the mid-1980s, that capability had deteriorated sharply. Aircraft losses, maintenance shortages, and sanctions that restricted spare parts made regular aerial photography increasingly difficult. Without eyes in the sky, Iranian commanders were planning offensives blind. They couldn't see Iraqi defenses. They couldn't map enemy positions. They were sending men to die based on guesswork. That desperate moment, that tactical catastrophe, planted the seed. Iran needed a cheap, expendable flying machine that didn't need a pilot. A machine that could be lost without losing a man. The drone program was born not from ambition. It was born from desperation. From the 1980s to the present, Iran continuously advanced its military UAV program, seeking to improve its fleet's intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities, and to field UAVs able to carry out airstrikes. But for decades, it was small, limited, mostly for spying, not striking. Then came the 2000s. Iran started getting serious. It studied every drone it could get access to. It studied foreign designs. It reverse-engineered what it found. And then, in 2011, it got the biggest gift in its military history. A gift it didn't ask for. A gift that fell from the sky. December 2011. A top-secret American RQ-170 Sentinel stealth drone is flying over Iranian territory. The Americans believe they're invisible. They are wrong. Iran conducted an entire operation to intercept it. First, Iranians jammed the communication channel with the RQ-170 Sentinel. Then, along with jamming communications, they began spoofing its coordinates, leading the RQ-170 Sentinel directly to their own airfield. The most secret drone in the American arsenal landed, intact, in Iranian hands. Washington was humiliated. Tehran was ecstatic. Iran claimed that Russia and China had asked for permission to inspect the downed drone. Immediately thereafter, Iran set to work reverse-engineering it to indigenously produce its own version. A $6 million American stealth drone, captured, studied, copied. Iranian engineers subsequently produced several UAVs modeled on the aircraft's flying wing configuration, including the Shahed 171 Simorgh and Shahed 191 Saik, both of which replicate aspects of the Sentinel's design. Iran had cracked the code. It didn't need American technology anymore. It would build its own. Now meet the drone that changed everything. The Shahed 136. In Persian, Shahed means witness. But the Ukrainians have another name for it. They call it the moped. Because of the sound it makes, a low, buzzing lawnmower drone that fills the night sky before it kills. The Shahed 136 is an Iranian-designed one-way attack drone, also referred to as a kamikaze drone or suicide drone, in the form of an autonomous, pusher-propelled drone. It is designed and manufactured by the Iranian state-owned corporation HISA. It is 3.5 meters long, wingspan of 2.5 meters. It weighs 200 kilograms. It carries a warhead of 30 to 50 kilograms, and it costs between $20,000 and $50,000. That's it. Cheap enough to lose, deadly enough to matter. The propeller-driven drones carry explosive payloads and are programmed to crash into their targets. They are relatively simple to manufacture and inexpensive compared with traditional missiles, allowing them to be launched in large swarms designed to overwhelm air defenses. Swarms. That's the key word. Not one drone, not 5 drones, hundreds, launched at once, spreading out, flying low, attacking from multiple directions simultaneously. Air defense systems can track a missile. They can intercept a fighter jet. But dozens of slow, cheap, buzzing drones coming from every direction? That's a different problem entirely. September 2022. Russia is losing momentum in Ukraine. Its missiles are expensive. Its stocks are shrinking. Its military is struggling. Then a new weapon arrives. Since August 2022, Ukrainian soldiers fighting Russia have had to contend with Shahed drones, a technology that, when launched, destroys everything, according to Yevlash, the spokesman of Ukraine's Air Force. If a Shahed hits an old building where there are a lot of people, they will totally destroy it. Night after night, city after city, the sound of the moped fills Ukrainian skies. Power stations, water infrastructure, apartment buildings. In the early months of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Iran transferred its Shahed drones to Russia for use against Ukrainian cities, towns, and infrastructure. Later, it transferred the technology to manufacture the drones and established co-production lines inside Russia. And those production lines went into overdrive. These assembly lines were soon producing nearly 400 Shahed drones every day. 400 drones every single day. The mass production of Iranian drones resulted in something the world had never seen before: regular swarm attacks against entire cities. Russia has launched over 38,000 Iranian Shahed drones and their variants at Ukraine in 2025 alone, compared to around 5,000 during the same period the year before. 38,000 drones in a single year. In 1 month, July 2025, Russia launched over 6,000 Shahed-type attacks. On July 9th alone, Russian forces targeted Ukraine with a daily record of 728 drones. 728 drones in one day against one country. Ukraine had never faced anything like this. Nobody had. Here's where it gets truly brilliant and truly terrifying. Iran didn't just build a weapon, it built an economic trap. Think about this. A Shahed 136 costs $20,000 to $50,000. The missile used to shoot it down? Intercepting them often requires advanced air defense missiles costing millions of dollars. A single Patriot interceptor can cost around $3 million to $4 million per launch, creating a stark cost imbalance when used against relatively inexpensive drones. A $50,000 drone, shot down by a $4 million missile. You do the math. Defenders are on the wrong side of the cost curve when facing precise mass offensive weapons such as the Shahed 136. Using air defense systems often costs between 5 and 100 times more than firing a precise mass weapon like the Shahed 136. 5 to 100 times more expensive to defend than to attack. Send enough drones, and you don't just destroy buildings. You bankrupt your enemy. You drain their air defense stockpiles. You make them choose between defending their cities or saving their missiles for something worse. This is not just a weapon. This is a strategy. April 13th, 2024. For the first time in history, Iran launches a direct attack from its own soil against Israel. Not through a proxy, not through Hezbollah, not through the Houthis. Iran itself, directly. The attack involved an estimated 170 drones, 30 cruise missiles, and 120 ballistic missiles. The scale and complexity of the assault were aimed at overwhelming Israel's air defenses, with waves of Shahed 136 drones saturating systems like the Iron Dome. The Shaheds came first. Hundreds of buzzing, slow, cheap drones flying toward Israel from over 1,000 kilometers away. Their job was not necessarily to destroy. Their job was to overwhelm, to confuse, to drain. And then, the missiles followed. Iran soon borrowed the same tactic used in Ukraine. On April 13, 2024, it fired 180 Shahed drones, 120 ballistic missiles, and 30 cruise missiles at Israeli cities. The aim? Use drone swarms to overwhelm and deplete air defenses as heavier payload and faster-moving ballistic missiles then move to strike. The attack was largely intercepted, but the message was received loud and clear. Iran had a doctrine now. Drones first, missiles second. Exhaust the defense, then destroy. In December 2025, the U.S. military announced it had developed the Lucas drone, a clone of the Shahed 136, developed from reverse engineering the Iranian design. The Americans, reverse engineering the Iranian drone, the same country whose drone Iran reverse engineered in 2011. The circle was complete. The student had become the teacher. While Shahed drones are routinely neutralized on a large scale in Ukraine through effective interception techniques, the US and its Gulf allies have been slow to adopt Ukrainian innovation and experiences. Reporting is filled with video footage of Shaheds breaking through Gulf defenses, something that is relatively rare in Ukraine despite the scale of Russian attacks. Ukraine, the country being bombarded by these drones for 3 years, had figured out how to stop them. Ukraine built a layered defense network that combines radar detection, electronic jamming, and mobile air defense units armed with machine guns and anti-aircraft weapons. They built interceptor drones, cheap ones, costing $3,000 to $5,000, to hunt and kill $50,000 Iranian drones in midair. The most sophisticated military powers on Earth were now looking to a war-ravaged country for lessons, because Ukraine had learned what others hadn't. The future of war is cheap, expendable, and swarming. Step back for a moment. Look at the full picture. A country under maximum sanctions, cut off from Western technology, isolated from global financial systems. That country built a drone so effective that Russia, a nuclear superpower, adopted it as its primary strike weapon in Europe. The United States, the most powerful military in history, reverse engineered it. And military strategists around the world rewrote their doctrine because of it. Iran now claims to have drones capable of delivering precision-guided missiles with ranges of 2,000 kilometers, flight endurances over 24 hours, and stealth capabilities. While its boasts are often exaggerated, the advancement of its drone program represents a technological triumph for the Islamic Republic. Love Iran or hate Iran, fear them or dismiss them, You cannot deny this. They solved a problem that billion-dollar defense contractors couldn't. How do you fight a superpower when you have no money? You make war cheap. You make it scalable. You make it endless. And you make every intercepted drone, every million-dollar missile fired at a $30,000 buzzing machine, a victory. That is the Iranian drone doctrine, and the world is still learning how to answer it. In 1980, Iranian engineers were watching their air force fall apart over the skies of Iraq. They had no spare parts, no allies, no way to see the battlefield. So they built something from nothing. 45 years later, that something is flying over European cities. It's striking oil fields in the Gulf. It's keeping the world's most advanced militaries awake at night. The lesson of Iran's drone army isn't just military. It's a lesson about desperation, about ingenuity, about what happens when you tell a nation it can't build something. Sometimes they build it anyway, and sometimes they build it better than anyone expected. If this story moved you, you are watching War and Military History, where every conflict has a cause, every border has a cost, and every war leaves something behind. Subscribe and stay with us, because history is never truly over.